So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. For the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. So you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. For the throne.
Go, yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. on the vibe. I'm never gonna look back, cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change, slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
All right, y'all. Happy Sunday, September 1st. Welcome back. Long time no see. Let's get our guests in here and we can get started. Grab a drink, grab a smoke if you indulge, and let's hang out for a bit. That is obviously not the one I wanted to bring on a guest, but that's for you guys. Let's just call that for you guys. Here we go. The monkey tamer himself, Mediocre. How you doing tonight?
What's up, Paisan? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing swell. Doing swell.
Cheers, brother. Brony tonight.
Hey, cheers. I got 2 beers to get us through tonight, Mediocre. When 2 is done, we're done. Otherwise, I got an open bottle of tequila in the fridge. But I don't think we're going to go that hard tonight.
No.
We're just going to hang out and have some fun. Talk about some FUD. There's some FUD going on out there. You're not even really paying attention to Twitter, are you, Mediocre?
No.
Do
I
you
don't pay attention to shit, Tony?
There's this movie right now called City of Dreams. It's about child trafficking. Made, I think, by the executive producers of Sound of Freedom. And if you remember Sound of Freedom, it was about human trafficking back in 2023. And remember how they were saying AMC's trying to prevent people from seeing the movie?
Yeah.
And then Angel Studios published a press release saying, no, AMC's doing a fantastic job. In fact, they're adding screens because the movie's doing so good there. And, that happened last year. Now these same people and their cohorts that were pushing that nonsense last year, for whatever reason, are trying to push it. AMC's trying to suppress City of Dreams with very shaky evidence, like a clipped screenshot. Oh, I work for AMC and my regional manager said to tell everybody the movie's full. Mediocre, have you been to an AMC where you walked up to a person and bought a ticket?
Well, no. You usually walk up to a counter and purchase a ticket, but
Right.
I will.
Or you walk up to a kiosk, a self-service kiosk if you're walking in, or you buy it on the website in advance so you can see all the seats. You buy it on the app.
Yeah. There's a lot
This
of that
whole
way too.
story of I work there and the manager told me to tell people it's full doesn't add up, because the vast majority of people aren't buying their tickets from a person. So that would be a very ineffective strategy to suppress a movie. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's going on, but
And then one of the dumbasses that is pushing this nonsense filmed himself. I put it in my video that I just published 30 minutes ago. He filmed himself going into an AMC to ask them, are you guys getting word from above to suppress this movie? And she told him, no. Let's pull up the next one. Oh, see, there's plenty of seats available. And like she even showed him the kiosk where you could see all the available seats. He's like, oh, well, this is just a very sensitive movie. Maybe you're sensitive, sir. Maybe you're believing lies. These corporations want to sell tickets. Otherwise they also have the option not to show the movie. If they wanted to suppress it, how about they just say, we're not going to show that movie here?
I mean, that would be a smart thing to do, right?
If you wanted to suppress it, just don't show it.
Exactly.
Bunch of liars and like mentally unstable people pushing this nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand why they're doing that. I mean, I think it's just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous because I mean,
I
a
don't
lot
pay
of
no
the
mind to that.
Christian, a lot of the Christian films, people just don't go see them. So to, I guess, compensate, oh, well, it must be being suppressed. I've seen several Christian movies in the last, I don't know, 90, 120 days. There's just not a lot of people watching them. They're all great films. I have enjoyed every one tremendously. What was the one that I just saw? The Forge. I've seen mediocre 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies in the last 8 days. Can you believe that shit?
I know you and I haven't really talked. It's been you haven't been around.
I haven't been around because I've been either working on the truck or watching movies, when I'm not watching the stock screen. But I've watched Cuckoo, Blink Twice, Alien Romulus again. That was my second time. The Crow, Strange Darling, The Forge, and 1992. And we did not go watch a movie today. My wife is off work tomorrow. Tomorrow's a holiday, so I think she wants to see, she said for sure don't go see Beetlejuice without me. So that's next weekend, but probably tomorrow I'll go take her to see, what's that movie called? The AI movie, Afraid. I'll take her to see that. She liked Megan. And then I want to see Reagan and Slingshot. So I mean, there's a ton of movies to go see, and a lot of them are really, really good. They're just not big tentpole movies like Deadpool and Alien. But if I had to say probably 2 movies for you guys to go watch. Strange Darling, for sure. And if you're not put off by Christian movies, The Forge is just a good, feel good message. Make humanity better, be a good contributor to society type movie. I think, we should support good movies like that. And I will thank you guys, the audience, for insisting that I go see that one because, it's tough for me to see 7 movies in 8 days, but I really wanted to see all these before they
a
got
lot of
off
time.
the big screen.
It's a lot of time, buddy. I can lie.
And I can watch with my A-list membership. I can watch 3 movies in a week for free. I pay $25 a month or whatever. But I was seeing so many. I was paying for the movie tickets just because I wanted to get all these in. And there's a bunch of more good movies coming out later this month. I don't like getting behind, mediocre. Let me put up the box office. Let's talk about that. I don't know if you've seen this yet, mediocre. Weekend box office estimates are in. We're at right here, 94.8 million for this weekend. That is about double what I was expecting because there's no huge new movies on I don't know why they didn't do that on a Labor Day weekend. I would have maybe, released Beetlejuice this weekend. But for whatever reason, it's this next weekend. 95 million is pretty damn good, wouldn't you say, mediocre?
Absolutely. And you know how we've been talking, and I was telling you like I need an entry in the AMC. I got one. Can you believe it?
You got an entry?
I got an entry back in AMC.
All right. I'm
Friday.
in at $4.20, mediocre. Did you beat me?
No, I did not.
I keep on looking at that price trading up there, 480, 470. I'm like, I feel really good about this quarter, but I really want to see how Beetlejuice does on opening weekend before I up my average. I'm not trying to up my cost basis. I'd like to lower it, but I don't know. I see user one is asking, what do you think about the let me put up the chat here. What do you think about the lowest stock price AMC can go to? I'm not really worried about any negative catalysts unless the market crashes.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's always out there, right? That could drive every stock down. AMC, GameStop, everything's going down if the market crashes. Or the other thing that could make the price go down is if they announce ATM, at the market offering. And so that's why I'm watching the box office so close, because I want them to have profitable quarters. I want them to have non-cash burn quarters. And then
Right.
I feel a little better about no ATM.
I don't want an ATM right now.
If they're not burning cash, they shouldn't need to do an ATM, right?
Yeah.
So with this box office that we have on the screen, that brings us to this quarter to $2.1 billion. And by my spreadsheet, conservatively, look, there's some variance, right? Everyone's saying, Tony, you're saying 2.45 billion to be profitable. There's some variance, guys. I don't know what percentage of the market AMC is going to capture.
Yeah.
1% makes a huge difference in my spreadsheet.
Right.
I don't know what the merch sales are going to be. There could be a variance in that. Food and beverage, there's a variance in that. So I'm giving you what I think is, for my integrity, my reputation of trying not to be incorrect. When I say 2.45 billion, that's a pretty safe number that I feel comfortable saying. If domestic box office can hit 2.45, there's very little reason that AMC should not be profitable at any number above that. Could we be profitable at a slightly lower box office if merch and market share and food and beverage all are best case? Sure, we could. But I'm not trying to operate on the edge here. I'm trying to give you guys some relatively conservative information. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm just telling you how I'm looking at it. You can have your own viewpoint, and there are definitely people that have higher box office estimates than me. There's people that are telling you the company will be profitable at lower box office. Maybe. That's cool. That's all bonus for me, because I'm just picking a conservative number. If it's better, that's a bonus.
I like that you use conservative numbers, Tony, because I'd rather be wrong and have it be more profitable quarter than the other way around, right?
Yep.
Like, we're playing a serious game here. Would you agree?
We don't like going in the red.
No. Not at all.
That's some serious business right there. You go in the red.
So yeah, I mean, I appreciate the way your spreadsheet is. To be honest with you, your numbers, which I use Tony's numbers. I'll just tell you guys flat out, I do. I don't even have a spreadsheet.
Corey says the new Alien movie was okay. Definitely not my favorite Alien movie. I'll tell you what I liked about it, Corey. I liked. I mentioned this in my review that I posted. The world building that they did, the visuals of it were really good. The monster piece of it was a little bit weak, in my opinion. The third act with the humanoid alien was pretty cool, but overall, not my favorite. But I am a big fan of the general franchise, and probably Prometheus and Alien Covenant are up there for some of my favorites because they're such different material, but still related. And I still remember seeing Alien 2 in the theater back in the day, and that being particularly terrifying in the theater. Although when we rewatched it a couple weeks ago on TV, it's not the same effect. It's just not the same effect. Watching it on TV in the comfort of your living room or bedroom as being in a big surround sound, big screen.
Yeah, with all the, every thump and that you can't get the same experience. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some surround sound systems at home that are really good, but when you're just relaxed and you, how many people? I mean, I don't hardly turn mine on. Do you? You know,
And even if you do, there's always interruptions. There's the
Yeah.
temptation to get on your phone. Just like it's not the same. I mean, you can make it the same if you're strict, I guess, and really have a top-notch system. But I mean, I have surround sound and I have a pretty big TV and I enjoy using it, but I still enjoy watching movies on the big screen a lot more.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think theaters are necessarily dead like a lot of people would like to think. No, I don't think so.
Anya says they'll do anything to drive the price down. I don't know, Anya, speaking of City of Dreams, if these people are trying to drive the price down or if they're just fanatics about that movie and child trafficking and they're a little bit conspiratorial bent and they will literally believe anything. I read a carefully clipped screenshot, not attributed to anybody. This was sent to me by a friend of a friend type thing. Oh, well, it must be true. Let me run to AMC and film myself interrogating the management. We see that a lot, mediocre, not only in stocks, we see it in now movies too. Everything's a conspiracy with this fringe element of people.
Yeah, just I don't know. I don't understand. I don't get caught up in that.
Yeah, I don't either, but I have been trying to go after a few of these people on Twitter today. Corey says a lot of people that don't care about movies are going to go see Beetlejuice. Tell us about your wife, mediocre.
What about her? We want to know. Beetlejuice?
She excited about Beetlejuice?
Oh God! Listen, my wife bought a 20-foot. Remember the original Beetlejuice where he has that he turns his arms into the hammer things, and it show you smack the thing and it makes the thing go up. My wife bought a 25-foot freaking thing like that for my yard
For Halloween?
Yeah.
What is it with the ladies that are, I mean, my wife too. I mean, she rarely asks, when is XYZ movie coming out? And she's excited about Beetlejuice. What is it about Beetlejuice that is making the ladies want to go see it?
I actually did watch the preview of that one, and I got to be honest, it looks pretty good. I can't really complain about it.
The opening weekend right now for Beetlejuice this coming weekend is estimated at $105 million minimum, based on what we know now, making it the third biggest opening weekend for 2024 in a traditionally slow month. That's going to be pretty good, and I hope it does far better than that. We're at 2.119 billion for the quarter. We got 4 weeks to go. I need to see 400 million. I need to see, let's just call it 400 million. That'd be 2.5 billion bucks. Need to see 100 million in per week. I need to see average of 10 million a day. We're probably not going to get 10 million a day, but the weekends will make up for it for the rest of this month. So, like I said in my video, mediocre, they can short the stock price, but they can't short revenue.
Right.
So, my feeling is probably most people, if you're invested in AMC, you probably own enough shares. And if you like movies, go watch a movie. There's a lot of good ones. 1992, The Forge, Strange Darling. They're not getting a lot of press, but they're good films.
I just hope the box office keeps generating the money we need to have a positive quarter. That's what I'm rooting for here, Tony.
Yeah, and I haven't even started talking about Q4 yet. We're expecting Q4 to be better than Q3. So if we can eke out a profit in Q3 and then know that Q4 is better and next year is better than this year, maybe we get on the right track with expectations for this company.
I mean, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
ERA Land Buyers says, the juice is loose, baby. Hope y'all are doing well. We're doing well. Doing well. User one says, what do you think the total domestic and global could be for Beetlejuice? I don't know. I haven't. I don't often look at global because just AMC is. I own some IMAX, and I own AMC, and I already know IMAX is going to be profitable. And for AMC, they only have theaters in the UK. So if I was interested in global, I don't care what China's doing or anywhere in Asia. I will look occasionally at the UK numbers or Europe, but I set my spreadsheet up to factor in AMC's global footprint extrapolated off of domestic because it's easier and more reliable for me to get domestic numbers. And I've been doing it that way for a long time. And with a, very small margin of error, that's just what works for me. I don't really care what a movie does globally other than it's nice to see the headlines. It's a good buzz. It's good press for the industry. Get people excited about going to movies. I don't think Beetlejuice will do $1 billion.
What's up, Bigums?
But if it does, awesome. Bigums is in the house. Where's he at? Hey, what's up, amigo? You want to come in and say hi? I'll send you an invite. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. About the Chase says following box office number daily is like rooting for your favorite teams and players. We really have an enviable position if you're investing in the entertainment industry and any movie theater company. If you take the time to understand the costs and the income streams, you can create a spreadsheet and forecast what the company's going to book on income or loss, whether it's IMAX, Cinemark, Marcus Theaters, AMC. There's not too many other, what other stocks do you have do you have daily updates on the income they're going to generate? That's what I love about this stock. Yeah, AMC speculative as hell. They're not profitable yet, but we have a little bit of inside track here. We can log in every day and see how much money we made as an industry the day before. I like it. I mean,
it's hot.
I don't know what to say. There's not too many other industries where you can get that level of granularity on expected income. What's up? What's up in here? Chris says, what movies are in Q4? All right, Chris, let's take a look at the calendar real quick for Q4. Let me put it back up on the screen here. Let's see what we got here. We got October, November, December. We got The Joker. That's going to be a big one. Let me make this a little smaller because I want to see if it says wide or limited. I don't know why The Joker says limited. It's going to be a wide release. If I pass one up, that y'all think is going to be big, let me know. Terrifier 3 would be a fun one. And I think they're doing a double showing of Terrifier 1 and 2 prior to this one coming out. We got a Mark Wahlberg movie, Flight Risk. I remember seeing the trailer for that. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, Wahlberg's pretty good at the movies he does.
Smile 2. I don't remember how much Smile 1 did. Maybe one of y'all can look that up. Well, just go to Box Office Mojo and type in Smile. Tell me what the domestic take on Smile 1 was. I don't know if this is a new Saw or a repeat. I don't know about that one. We got Venom: The Last Dance, also in October. So Joker and Venom will be the two big ones in October for sure. Then I'm trying to see what jumps out at me. We got a John Wick anniversary, 10th anniversary.
It's just original.
Yeah. Let me switch to November. Hit Pig, I have not seen trailer for that one. I haven't done a ton of DD on Q4 yet, other than what the industry CEOs are telling us. Conclave with Stanley Tucci. I'm going to need to check into that one. I'll do this towards the end of September. We got a horror movie, Heretic, with Hugh Grant. Red One. That one looks pretty funny to me. This had a little bit of controversy when it was being filmed. People saying Dwayne Johnson was showing up late to the set and yada, yada, yada. I watched the preview for this in the theater. It looks pretty fucking funny to me. I don't know how it'll do. Probably mediocre. Sorry, mediocre.
Everything I do is mediocre, Tony.
We got Gladiator 2. I'm looking forward to that one around Thanksgiving. That should do excellent. We got Flow and adventure animation around Thanksgiving. And then we have Wicked, which, not my typical movie. It's a fantasy musical romance, but it looks like they've done a really good job on this one. So I will be going to see it. And I expect that movie will do really, really well. I don't know about this movie, Who Shrunk Daniel Funk, no idea. But Moana 2, also Thanksgiving, huge. This one will be huge. We got an Interstellar re-release. I don't know if that's still on. I saw a little bit of drama that maybe they lost the IMAX print of it. I don't know. We got a Jude Law movie. And let's see, a werewolf movie. I don't know anything about that one. Let's see what we got in December. Craven the Hunter, mid-December with Russell Crowe. We got Lord of the Rings. This is a animated movie. I don't know how it'll do. I know a lot of Lord of the Rings fanatics are very excited about it. I like Lord of the Rings. I've seen all of them, read all the books a long time ago. I will go see this one. I'm not a huge fan of crossover animation movies like this, but I'll go see that one. And what else? Sonic the Hedgehog and Mufasa to close out the year. I wish that they were a little, not at the end of the quarter, but it is what it is. Everyone will be off work. They'll do fine. Sonic the Hedgehog and Mufasa. Maybe we'll get some carryover into Q1. In addition, we got Nosferatu, a Dracula fantasy horror movie. That one looks pretty interesting to me. Bill Skarsgård starring in that. And yeah, so that's what we got coming up. anyways, I think there'll be several billion-dollar movies in that set that we just talked about.
How many movies you think we're gonna get next year?
I don't know, mediocre. But that you bring up a good point, and I should have talked about this in my video, but let
Segue.
me talk about it now. Q3, and Rolf has done a great job of continuing to point this out, along with some other people. If we look right now, we're at $2.1 billion. We've had 162 total releases, total movies. Let me restate this the right way. 162 movies in Q3 of this year that booked any revenue. Okay. At this point in the pre-pandemic years, we'd be close to 400 movies, 300, 337, 345. We're at close to pre-pandemic box office numbers with half the fucking movies. Imagine, mediocre, if once Hollywood gets ramped back up, assuming they do.
I want more movies, Tony.
Imagine if we get 300 movies a quarter again. How dramatically this story can change.
Yep.
So for all the people saying it's over, for AMC, you better fucking pray that Hollywood doesn't ramp up to 200 to 300 movies a quarter, because you're going to be really, really wrong. Look, I can't say. I don't talk to the studios. I don't know. But the numbers are going up. And when and if they get back to pre-pandemic volumes, or even anything close to it, we're going to be crushing these box office numbers. And AMC is sized to perform on large box office. So that's what we need. And they will be doing just fine if the industry continues pumping out movies.
I hope they're ramping up. I really do.
Like I said, I'm not talking to studios, so I don't know. But the money's there, mediocre, if they make the right movies. Scott says his wife and a friend are also excited to see Beetlejuice. We won't ask any questions about the friend, Scott. Anya says you can never own enough shares. You only own too many, Anya, when the price goes down. Sly says 600 to 700 million is typical pre-pandemic September. Yeah, let's look at that. Good point here. So here's what I'm seeing for domestic September box office. Pre-pandemic, 600 million. After the pandemic, 323, 367, 474 last year. I'd like to see a 500 on there this year for September. Can we get there? Mediocre. Beetlejuice is going to open with 100 million on September 6th weekend.
Yeah.
Then we have not really anything until the end of the month, other than
we just have
more Beetlejuice, a little more Deadpool, a little more Alien, all these smaller movies. I think this is why I'm keeping my estimate for Q3 between 2.4 and 2.6 billion, because I think it's going to be tough. I mean, there's people that are expecting $1 billion in September, and I just don't know how you get there unless Beetlejuice does 400, 500 million domestic in 20 days. Maybe it does. I'm not comfortable saying that.
I mean, I'd like to see it happen. Will it? I don't know. But I that's the thing is, you know me, whether it happens or not, it is what it is, right?
Yeah,
just be prepared, and that's all you can do. Prepare
if we can do 400 or 500 million, that's going to be a good. It's going to be a good Q3.
Yeah. I want a profitable quarter, but if we're not, we're a penny negative or whatever, just throwing some numbers out there to have the conversation. It is what it is. You can't change what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
We can right now if we go see movies, right? Honestly, but the fact of the matter is that if we're only going to have, you know, if we end up the quarter with a penny to the negative, at least it's better than five negative pennies EPS.
I didn't have this up on the screen when I was talking about it, did I? About the September numbers?
No,
This is pre-pandemic, and this is where we're at the last 2 years. So I think we come in somewhere around these, but I'd be happy if it's above those. It's all on Beetlejuice, baby. And it's going to be on Transformers 1. It's got to have a huge opening weekend. I think I saw numbers around 40 million expected for Transformers 1. So I think it's better to be conservative and live in a world of reality. And then if we're surprised, then that's good. And that robot movie, the numbers were way, way lower than that, lower than I expected. I think I posted them in Discord. Somebody let me know from that link what the robot movie opening weekend is supposed to be. Anyways,
Tony Anya says if AMC goes positive just a few pennies, just a few cents, won't it go nuts? I don't know that it'll go nuts, but
I don't know that it'll go nuts, Anya, but the best thing about it is we can breathe a little bit of sigh of relief that there was no cash burn for the quarter. That's a win.
yes, it is.
Because what is everybody saying right now? You saw it on social media all fucking weekend. AMC's going to go bankrupt. How are they going to go bankrupt when they're booking profitable quarters? And they just moved the debt out to 2029 and 2030. How are they going to go bankrupt? We're going to book 2 profitable quarters this year, and next year is going to be better. How are they going to go bankrupt? Mediocre, how does a company go bankrupt?
I mean, I agree with you, Tony, but in fairness, right, we don't have a profitable quarter yet. We're counting on one.
No, this whole year is going to be a loss.
Right.
This will be a loss of a year, but we had the actors and writers strike impacting Q1 and Q2. I'm saying
I think if we get 2 profitable quarters, we're going to move up in price. That's why I've already said it publicly what I thought. All you got to do is watch the videos, people. It's in the video. I think, I'll just say it again. I think it's possible to see if we have 2 profitable quarters by the end of the year, we could be between $6 and $8. Does it mean it's going to happen? It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it's a possibility. That's what I think, right? Am I counting on it? No, but I'd like to see it happen if we could get 2 positive quarters.
Kyle says, "Isn't there a new Kevin Hart movie?" I don't know, Kyle. I didn't see one, but let me know if you're aware of one. Don't underestimate a Blazing Saddle. I would like to go see that one. I also would like to go see Shaun of the Dead. I don't know if I already missed it. It got re-released this weekend. And Coraline. Have you seen the freaking numbers on Coraline? It's beating most of the new movies, Mediocre. Let me pull up the damn chart. This is freaking amazing. I don't know that I've ever seen Coraline, but it's the number 10 movie for this quarter. A movie that was released 15 years ago. It's beating for this quarter Bad Boys Ride or Die. Of course, Bad Boys Ride or Die, I think it got released last quarter. Yeah, June. It's beating Fly Me to the Moon, Horizon, Harold and the Purple Crayon, Blink Twice, The Forge, Borderlands, Maxine, Reagan, The Crow, Cuckoo, Afraid. It's just killing it. So please, AMC or the industry, whoever the heck is doing this, Fathom Events, find some more like this, please. And guys, should I watch this movie? I mean, would I like it? Wandering her rambling old house in her boring new town, an 11-year-old Coraline discovers a hidden door to a strangely idealized version of her life. In order to stay in the fantasy, she must make a frighteningly real sacrifice. I don't know. Y'all let me know if I should go see it. I'm trying to keep up on the new movies. I love Blazing Saddles, and I've never seen it on the big screen. So,
What's that movie, Narnia? That's what it kind of sounds like. It resembles Narnia. Caroline?
Coraline.
Coraline?
Yeah, I mean, just based on the description, it does. Okay. Let's see. Other comments. Stanley Tucci. Anya. About the Chase says, my wife and all her teacher friends can't wait for Wicked. Wicked will be massive with the ladies, Sly says. Yeah, I mean, even as a guy, when as a cinephile, someone who likes movies, I watched the trailer for Wicked. I'm like, it looks like they did a pretty damn good job. And I'm sure my wife will want to go see it. And it doesn't look like I'll have a bad time.
Let me grab another beer, Tony. I'll be right back.
Oh, mediocre's pounding them down. Let's go.
It's a bit warm over here.
Mediocre. Bigham says, what about Transformers? Transformers 1. What? Let me pull up. I don't have my Discord open. Can anybody pull up the Discord post that I made and see if I have opening weekend for Discord or for Transformer 1 in there? Anya? It's in the link I posted like yesterday or the day before that had all of the movies for the rest of this month and their expected opening weekend. I think Transformers 1 was around 40 to 50 million, which is less than I wanted to read. Speak No Evil looks good, Bigham says. Bigham says Usher might bring in 15 million. Thank you for bringing that up. I wanted to talk to you guys about Usher. I looked. We have tickets. We have tickets for opening night. That was my era. And we know Taylor Swift did fantastic numbers, and then Beyonce did less. And now we got Usher. And I wanted to see Beyonce, sold out in my city on opening night, and then it kind of tapered off. I wanted to see on Usher, is it sold out on opening night? It pains me to say this, but on my opening night, there's 4 tickets sold, and I'm 2 of them. And I live in a town where there should be a lot more people going to see it. Maybe they don't know about it. Maybe they aren't app buyers, but I'm kind of disappointed right now with what I'm seeing on Usher. Let me know. Check your town. Let me know what it's looking like. Check your app right now. Let me know what you're seeing. And maybe we can bug AMC or Usher to get the freaking word out. I mean, we're on the TikTok countdown here, baby. We got 11 days. We need to get the word out. It's like what? A 3-day run? We need all of those sold out. Corey says they keep selling out of popcorn buckets. If we can get it across to them that we want a larger distribution. Yeah, I think, Corey, that they're this is still relatively new for the merch, and they don't want to get stuck with excess inventory, because then you got to write that off, and that can wipe out all your profits. I don't know if you guys have had anything to do with procurement or managing inventory. But one of the worst things that you can have is having to write off inventory. If you miss forecast, then you could literally wipe out all your profits on the ones you did sell. So I'd rather them be a little conservative, but I hear what you're saying. And I think the longer they do this, the better they'll get at forecasting the demand. So I would expect that, we'll see slowly the income creep up and the order size that they're willing to commit to creep up. But you don't want to get in a situation where you can't sell the damn things.
What'd I miss? Anything?
No. Kirby says, weren't we slightly profitable last year or Q3? I believe so. Let me pull up the spreadsheet. Google Sheets.
Make sure you share it if you could.
All right.
I didn't know if you were just.
Let me hide all my forecasts through 2026 first. Hang on.
Never mind. You don't have to share it. I'm only teasing.
Here's what we got. Yeah, Q3, the box office was $2.6 billion, and the company was profitable $12.3 million. There was some one-time extra adders to this, if I'm not mistaken. In Q2, we were also profitable. I already cross-checked these quarters. I took out the one-time cost and made the admissions percentage the same. And my numbers for Q3 this year still match if I take out the one-time gains for these quarters. So we will be profitable, or we'll be break even at this number. Let's see if we did 2,648. That'd be 38 million estimated net profit, or 11 cents per share. Not too bad.
11 cents per share positive, Tony?
Positive.
Ooh, I like it.
Mediocre's drinking on the trading floor, he says.
Damn, Skippy got me my Peroni. Good to go, baby.
Corey says you should definitely see Coraline. All right, you've convinced me. I bet my wife would like to go see that. She's off work till Thursday night, so maybe I'll get her out to 2 movies this week. Coraline, and I want her to see Shaun of the Dead. I bet she's never seen it one time. Mediocre. Have you seen that movie?
Which one?
Shaun of the Dead.
I have, yeah. I don't remember it.
I've seen it on TV several times. It's pretty damn funny.
I just want to tell everybody, I know it's Labor Day weekend. I'm just here cleaning everything up over here.
You mopping the floors on the NYSE?
Mediocre at everything.
Matt says I'd like to see them bring back some of the older anime movies like Cowboy Bebop. Speaking of Cowboy, Matt, I'd like to see them bring back some of the old Westerns, like some Clint Eastwood. How about that? Or some John Wayne. Stuff I freaking grew up with watching on a 13-inch black and white TV.
A buddy of mine, he was an older Italian guy. Good friend.
Anya says he was an older Italian guy, and what?
He passed away, but his favorite show was Bonanza.
Oh yeah.
All he would watch.
Wasn't Hoss in Bonanza?
I don't really know the show too much.
There was Bonanza and Gunsmoke, and I was young, so I always getting confused.
But he was a good guy. Like, he took care of me when I was younger, and so he'd be sitting around watching Bonanza, and I'd start breaking his balls.
Why would you break his balls? Because you live in fucking the Northeast, and you're wondering why you're watching a cowboy show?
That's right.
Oh, come on, man. Everybody loves a cowboy.
Exactly. Like, what are you doing? Well, I'll tell you what his name was. His name was Claudio.
His name was Claudio.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds like a true Italian.
Yeah, 100%. I'm like, what are you watching this for?
User one
You
says,
loved
would a
it.
PE of 25 to 30 be reasonable? I'm using for my estimates for AMC. If we imagine out in 2025 or 2026, a profitable year, let's just pick a number. I'm going to pick a number. I'm going to make it up. It's higher than what I'm expecting. But let's say that the annual profit in 2025 was $1 per share. Then I would use a PE ratio of around 25, which is comparable to what a Cinemark or IMAX are getting right now. And that would give us a effective share price of $25. The problem is what I'm forecasting, what I'm seeing here is we're probably not going to come in at $1 a share. So it's going to be some number lower than that, but the box office could always surprise me. I'm just doing forecast on a reasonable box office. The price will be higher than where we're at now, but will it be $25? Not according to what I'm seeing right now, but I mean, it changes every quarter.
Tony, are you pumping this fucking stock?
I'm not. I made up a number, and that is not the number that I'm using as my forecast. But I mean, if you bought in at 420 or $5 and the box office grows and AMC doesn't massively dilute us and it's profitable for the next 4 quarters, could you get a price higher than $5? Absolutely.
The problem is you and I, we agree. Like, we don't know what's going to happen as far as how they're gonna tap the equity markets. We'll say, you know,
Tap
what I mean?
the equity market.
You don't really know what they're going to do, but if the price runs up in a significant way, they might try to capitalize on that.
What I do know, mediocre, is the
But
balance sheet. The balance sheet needs a little polishing still.
Exactly.
So if the price runs up, I'm telling you guys now, I expect them to tap the equity market. Mediocre, I'm going to get a drink while you explain that.
Yeah. So basically, it's a nice way to say that they're gonna dilute shareholders. They're gonna come looking for some money, right? And the reason why they would do that in a run up is because they could sell shares into the market. Not that I want them to do this. I don't want them to do this, right? I'm invested just like you guys, but you have to think that that's always going to be on the back of their mind. Like, they still have the debt, right? Profitable quarters means they can service that debt, but if they wanted to pay a significant amount off, they could.
But mediocre, are you sure they're just not tapping the equity market to help the shorts out?
I mean, just look at the short interest, Tony. We're not even near 20% anymore.
You don't even need to look at the short interest. All you need to look at is the balance sheet. Like all these conspiracy project popcorn nut jobs, the one thing they refuse to do is look at the balance sheet. It's upside down. We have negative working capital. Until that is fixed, they're going to tap the equity market when they can generate a decent amount of money to do it. Or if they get over a barrel like they've been over the last year, where they're losing money hand over fist, they're going to tap that market.
That's why, in my opinion, a lower dollar cost average on your shares protects you from that, right? Because when the news breaks, the stock drops. If they're going to do a dilution like that, and that market act, they're going to put the news out, it's going to drop. We've seen it how many times?
So mediocre, let's kind of walk through our thought process, because I think yours is probably like mine. Like if we can buy in at 420, 450, 480, and if box office is generally positive over the next few quarters, and if there's a lot of ifs here, guys, just work with me. I don't have a crystal ball. This is not a gospel. if all of these things line up, AMC's not going to be burning cash, which is good. The price we're hoping will go up based on the box office. But the more
Absolutely.
it goes up, the more they're going to be then tempted to tap the equity market. To
Right.
whether it's a ATM, not likely, debt for equity exchange, more likely.
Yep.
That could temporarily set the price back a little bit,
A little bit. Right.
which is
Protect-
why we want to be in low.
Right.
Because if it runs up to 7 and then drops back down to 550, we're still okay.
Exactly.
That's what we're thinking right now. That's how mediocre and I are looking at it.
Protect your portfolio at all costs. That's how I look at it. Right. So
Which is why I really hope the price does go up and they have the opportunity to do that, because I don't want them to be tempted to do it while the price is at $5 or $4.80. I mean, they had to in previous quarters because of the cash burn, but now, we're at a pivot point. Let's see if that price can go up. I'm expecting they'll probably knock off a little more debt with a debt for equity exchange. That helps shareholders in the sense that you're now holding a company with a better balance sheet, but it's going to be dilutive when it happens. So you got to think about both pieces of this.
and the other thing, like a lot of people hate that we talk about this, Tony. You know they do, right?
I know they do.
And
They're in denial.
the thing is, right? I'm just going to tell you, we have 100 million shares that they could use. Okay. Then what happens? That's the thing you need to ask yourself. You know, um, you need to think about all of that at one time and put it all together to protect your money. Unless you're just, you're an ape, a buy and hold person, right? I don't fault anybody for doing what you do with your money is your business. I'm just saying, for me, if I'm going to protect my portfolio, that is my goal. And I'm sure that's Tony's goal, right? My capital is very important to me. That's all I'm saying. So I just don't want to put it in a risky play. Very well. This is everything's risky, but I don't want to be overly risky with my money.
User one asked a good question, a fair question. I think a honest question that everybody should be thinking about. How much money could AMC make in a quarter? He said, "Do you think it's reasonable for them to make 100 million a quarter in 2025?" I can plug in some quarterly box office and show you. Let's just say that the box office for Q3 came in at 3 billion. 117 million. So, yeah, I mean, if you have a $12 billion box office, it's possible. You're going to get whacked a little bit in Q4 with the, the depreciation write-off that they do. This, where is it? The impairment of long-lived assets. That'll whack down Q4, and that will affect the annual number. But that's a non-cash transaction. So, yeah, I mean, the bigger this box office number gets, the better the numbers look for AMC.
The less likely there is for, tapping the equity markets. Dilution. Right? If they can service the debt without diluting, maybe they won't.
And why is it that a small change in box office like this makes such a big change from the bottom line? Because AMC has heavy fixed cost. But once you cross that hurdle, then everything starts becoming profit. And the more people that are watching movies, the more concessions you sell, the more merch, all that other stuff, it starts adding up. But we got to get back to a point where we're over the hurdle. Anya says, how bad can dilution hurt the dollar value of the stock? I mean, typically, Anya, if you have a 20% dilution, you'll see a 20% drop in the stock price, just back of the envelope. Gosh, this guy has a lot of good questions. I wish he had a real name, not user one. How many bonds outstanding do you think could convert to shares at $7? So I was talking to Sparky over the past couple days. Sparky is a professional bond portfolio manager, not anything related to AMC. He doesn't trade AMC. His job is not even related to retail stocks like this.
No.
But he understands the bond market. And he, I'm not a bond expert. I'm trying to become one because this is important stuff for us on a play like AMC, understanding how this stuff plays in. And in my video that I just published an hour ago, I put up a screen from the Bloomberg terminal showing you all the AMC bonds. These convertible bonds, mediocre, right now are trading above par. Par is $100. They're trading at 117 cents on the dollar. There's a premium being assigned to those convertible bonds. And the way Sparky explained that to me is that is let's call it a bonus. I'm going to give you my fifth grade explanation. The only way I can understand it. Maybe Sparky's watching. He can come in and explain it. But there's a premium being assigned to those bonds because they are convertible for the next 6 years at any price over 566. But what he told me is, Tony, don't expect them to just dump these things for shares at $6, because that's basically, if they think the industry is getting better and they think AMC is getting more profitable and they think that the price is going to go up, why would they convert?
Right. They're going to make more money in the bond.
The longer they wait, those bonds will keep trading up, and so will the share price, and so will their conversion. So he said they're probably running ARB calculations every single day, every minute of every hour, figuring out what's the best thing to do. But he said, in his opinion, and I trust him because he knows more than I do. So this is the DD that I'm using on this channel. He said, for the moment, don't expect those bonds to convert probably till closer to when they mature. I'm hearing people say they already converted. Come on. The conversion price is 566. They're not going to convert for less than the conversion price. So forget about that nonsense. Would they convert at 6? I don't know. If they think it's going to 8 or 10, why would they convert at 6? So you got to think like they're thinking. What do they see? What do they think the box office is going to do? What do they think the stock price is going to do?
I got a question for you, Tony. We haven't really talked this weekend.
Nope.
But what was your thought on us closing at like 480? Like, what were you thinking? Were you expecting? I wasn't expecting that.
Did we close at 480 on Friday?
We closed under 5. I don't remember the exact number.
Let me pull up the chart.
We're trading at 485 right now.
482. Let me throw up the screen, and we can talk about that for a second. My thought process, mediocre, is very simple. I'm just looking at red and green lines here. We got the supply zone going back to May. We got these 2 demand zones down here going back to May. And you're going to need some catalyst to knock us out of here. Above, I'd prefer above. if there was a market crash like we talked about, maybe you drop down below. But I keep on watching Cinemark and IMAX pushing up, and I'm like, probably like you guys, wondering why is AMC not moving? Because no one knows for sure just yet if the company is going to be profitable for Q3. That's why I think next weekend and the rest of this quarter is critical. And so mediocre, my thought is we meander in this range for the rest of this month.
Yeah,
until we start getting confirmation that it's going to be a non-cash burn quarter. The closer we get to the end of September, forget about Roaring Kitty, forget about Naked Shorts, all that, the cat system. I'm just talking fundamental analysis. If the market thinks that the company's not going to lose money in Q3, I think we see this price maybe have a chance to trend up a little bit.
Anya got a statement out there. I kind of want to say something. Her statement is other stocks all go up and AMC does shit. But I want to say, like, my opinion of the reason why AMC doesn't have much of a uptrend to it, which I think is on the we're at that pivot point, like Tony says. Like, I think we're on the verge of moving a little bit, right? I'm not going to say a lot, but I think we're on the verge of starting to climb up. But I think the reason that it doesn't move much in the upward direction is because there's so many retail investors, there's so many people buying this stock that it's kind of overvalued. If you go off of analysts, right, at what actual analysts are saying, you can say that it's overvalued, right?
They have what, a $4 price target?
Yeah, something. We're trading higher than that, whatever it is. I think it was $3 or something. Somebody said recently, one of these guys.
I'm going to pull it up while you're talking.
The reason why I bring this up is because, well, that's why, right? If we're the only ones buying the stock retail, right? I'm talking retail here. If we're the only ones buying the stock right now, and they're allowing it to move up to say $5, $5.15, right? And then they're offloading their shares and pushing the price back down, letting the price fall. Then they're buying the bottom again and letting it come back up. Like that's what's going on, in my opinion.
We have multiple analysts with a $4 price target, mediocre. So that is a problem. And these analysts are not going to put their reputation on the line to be bullish like we are about the box office. They're going to wait. One of these guys I called out for being completely incorrect, and I was right, and the professional analyst was wrong last quarter. I don't know if you remember that. But they're going to not recommend to their clients ahead of time that people buy this stock or give it a price target above $4 until AMC goes on a phone call and says, we're projecting profitable quarters for the next 4 quarters. They're just not. And that's why Cinemark and IMAX are getting this price action on you, because not only are they profitable, they are increasing their earnings estimates for the next year. Meanwhile, AMC is still trying to fix the balance sheet. So the only thing that the pros are focused on is the risk of more dilution. And I can't say that they're incorrect there until the balance sheet is fixed. It doesn't mean, like Nathan says, that AMC is trash. It means that there's some things you need to be aware of, that the balance sheet still needs to be polished a little bit. AMC is going to be a speculative play till the balance sheet is not upside down, i.e. we have positive working capital and we're servicing the debt with profitable quarters.
Now
we're getting close, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, and I'll add to that, Tony. I'll say this, we may not be right at the analyst price target where they think it is. Like, we might be buying above that, but we're doing the due diligence, right? That's the part people need to take the information seriously. The information, there was a video I shared in my Discord. I don't remember the name of the video. I'll have to go back and look at it, but it specifically talked about information being expensive, right? Like information is not free, this, that, and the other thing, right? We've had this conversation on this show, Tony, where how much you you pay for tools, right? Tools are expensive. The reason we do that stuff and we have these conversations is because it matters, right? If you could protect your money, ultimately that's what you're doing.
User one says, "What's your opinion of Adam Aaron as CEO?" What's your opinion, mediocre?
Of Adam Aaron as CEO? I mean, I just think Adam Aaron is a figurehead, if you want me to be honest. I don't think, yeah, he's the voice. He's the one out talking to the public. He's talking to you and I. But outside of that, I think the main man is probably Sean Goodman.
I would agree. Sean Goodman's the one doing the liquidity forecast. He's doing the 2-year cash burn analysis. And the financial team is the one driving what happens with AMC and cash raises, tapping the equity market.
They tell Adam what has to be done. That's it.
So Adam gets a bad rap, Mr. User, because he's the public figurehead. That's his job to be the one taking the arrows, but he's not the one making the decisions. He has a whole finance team and a CFO to do that. And if you've ever worked in a corporation, or you're an accountant, or you're a finance pro, you know what I'm talking about. Adam's not the one making these decisions. He's just the one catching all the bullets. Carlos says, did AMC continue closing non-profitable locations? Yes, they have been closing non-profitable locations, and they will continue closing non-profitable locations until the point that the box office is high enough that there are no more non-profitable locations. And then it just comes down to age. Like, okay, we got a location here that's 15 years old. It's profitable, but we need to bring it up to par. Are we going to invest $2 million in retrofitting it, or are we just going to close it, find a new location, and build a new location? I mean, there'll still be some closures once the majority of them are profitable. But yeah, I expect for many quarters to come, we will still see some closures. How bullish do you think the coming Fed rates will be for AMC? A large portion of AMC's debt is based on variable rates, based on the Fed rate. So if they cut the rates, that is bullish for AMC. That cuts their debt service. So that is bullish. Steve says it's not about earnings. The last few that were good, stock did not move. I mean, we haven't had any that were good, Steve. The last two were negative. So earnings has everything to do with that. I'm going to agree to disagree with you. And I say the same thing about GameStop. Without earnings, GameStop is going to get pushed down over time. Everything is about earnings. Everything is a multiple of earnings. Go read a book on stock valuation. Everything is either earnings or discounted cash flows. It's basically the same thing.
I agree, Tony, but maybe not trying to trash anybody, but for simple-minded people who don't get it, maybe we should just talk about revenue, right? Profitability. If you're not making enough revenue, you can't pay your bills, right? Then
if you're losing money,
a quarter at that point.
Yeah, like if you're losing money, then what are you? And you're running low on cash, you're going to have to dilute, which is going to drive the price down. So it absolutely has to do with earnings. You can't be in these plays for the long term if they're losing money. You're going to get diluted. The price is going to go down. The ideal time to buy them, and we all made the mistake in 2021 of holding too long, hoping for a second squeeze. I was right there with you. But that second squeeze didn't happen. And then the cash started getting drawn down. And that just emboldens the shorts. And who's there to defend it, mediocre? Nobody.
Yeah. So,
Retail.
Tony, I just want to correct what you just said, though. Not correct it, but I want to clarify, right? That you're talking not specifically about AMC at the moment.
Any stock, yeah,
Exactly.
that has negative revenues. But I
Right.
was talking about in 2021. I mean, we held it till the end of the year, hoping for a second squeeze. And I even held mine in 2022, hoping for a second squeeze. I had the luxury of doing that because I was green on my play since June of 2021 from the call options that I had. Not everybody had that luxury.
And I was green for a long time, and I held with you guys. For
I
the short
lost money.
squeeze.
I gave money back, right?
I actually gave money back too, which I won't do again.
Yeah, we're not going to keep making that. That was my one experiment, and I'm not going to keep doing that. So yes, it has everything to do with earnings. Every stock's price is a multiple of earnings, and then you look at some like Nvidia or Tesla that get overpriced relative to earnings. Then you could have an argument: is it overpriced, or are the bears not factoring in some future revenue? That's a different kind of argument. But right now, we're not even looking at positive earnings. We're looking at negative earnings. How do you value a stock that has negative earnings? You only base it on hope.
Yes, we're hoping that the box office in Q3 is profitable. That's why we're talking about the movies and what. That's why we look at box office numbers, the weekend numbers, which we just went over at the beginning of this video, right, Tony? Why'd we do that, Tony? Tell them. Because
Why do we do what?
Why do we look at the weekend numbers? Why do we check the spreadsheet all the time?
Because the analysts aren't doing it every day, mediocre, and we can get
Exactly.
an edge over the professionals.
Exactly.
If we are right, if
Right.
the box office continues in the direction that we're expecting. There's a lot of ifs here. That's why I call it a speculative play. Sufyan, our resident CPA, says analysts will change their price target very fast after upcoming earnings. I predicted that on Cinemark, Sufyan, when they announced they had their call, and the next day I published my Cinemark video, and I said I gave my new price target for Cinemark, and the day after my video, guess what? The analysts upgraded to the same price target I had just gave. How did I get that price target? Based on earnings expectations. Everything is fucking off of earnings.
I shouldn't have left Cinemark. I should have stayed over there. I had a $14 cost average. I was sitting pretty, but I came back to AMC.
What are you gonna do?
I'm okay with it. I'm not losing money,
you
so-
can't own the evil empire and be talking about AMC, mediocre. You should have bought some IMAX like I did. At least IMAX is a partner. What am I in IMAX at?
I used to complain the same way they did. Cinemark. I did. I was like, why is Cinemark going up? AMC's not. I would say the same things back then.
Must be manipulation, mediocre, or maybe it's earnings. I'm in IMAX at $14.99 and $15.20. It's trading over $21, so that's a pretty good buy-in.
Yeah, I remember when what was IMAX trading at $5 or something?
Let's see what the lowest.
What was
price
it trading at back
IMAX.
then when you were telling me about it? And I was making
$8.48. That was back in 2020. Probably since I've been talking to you, mediocre, $12.72. I mean, I'm in at $14.99. That's pretty damn close to the bottom for the last 2 years.
yeah.
The best I could have done was $12.13. IMAX, I had a 12-month price target of $21 for IMAX when I bought it in June, and it already hit my price target. June, July, 2 months. 2 months, it hit my 12-month price target. Booyah. Anya says, you two have invested so much in AMCDD, you wouldn't do it if you weren't optimistic. That's right, Anya. I do it for two reasons. Number one, I don't think that AMC is trash. I think it's troubled. I think it's speculative. I think that there is risk, but there is high potential upside if the box office recovers. That's one thing that I believe. But the second thing I believe is there are a lot of loudmouths pushing bad misinformation. The company's going to go bankrupt. They have $3 billion in debt due in 2026. It's going to $2. I don't know. Pick your channel. There's nothing but misinformation. Zero people other than stock retail talking about the financial statements. And it really pisses me off. The emotional conspiracy-based people that won't try and understand the financials, won't try and understand what's going on here. And so even if I didn't own AMC, and there's been times in this year that I didn't own it, I'm still talking about it because these dipshits piss me off. And there's a lot of people that I care about that own the stock.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of friends in this stock. Listen, I have friends in this stock that don't even talk to me anymore. Okay, but I still consider them friends and don't want to see them get smashed, right? So I want to see everybody succeed. That's ultimately why I actually talk about it. Other than that, I mean, I'll trade any stock, but right now I'm in AMC, right? For a while, hopefully. I don't plan on selling anytime soon. That's just where I stand at the moment.
Get in it. What's up, amigo? He says, you're both talking fundamentals. That's well and good. And you're right. But when I got in, this was a technical trade and had nothing to do with earnings. It was a speculative short squeeze play when we all got in it, right? Absolutely. I didn't look at the fundamentals because they were trash back in 2021.
You know what? I'll tell you exactly when I got in, because I was in early. I was in extremely early, just so y'all know. When I got in, it was I had heard about retail saving businesses, right? So that they didn't go bankrupt on the stock market. So that was one of the reasons why I entered AMC, because it had retail pushing it to prevent it from bankruptcy. Okay. Now, with that said, at the time, I never really checked fundamentals or any of that, right? It was more of a short squeeze play at the time, and I was going to hold it. I was there for the run up. I should have sold. I didn't, but you know what? We all make mistakes. I can admit my mistake. That 100% was a mistake. Had I known what I know now, I would have sold 100% without a shadow of a doubt.
You know what I held on to mediocre was, what I call a short squeeze potential play is anything where the short interest is over 20%. And AMC was always at that point, right?
Yeah.
We were always up there. So for me, I had some hope that there could be another short squeeze. We needed a catalyst, and we never really got one.
Nope.
And all we did was bleed out cash.
Yep. And partly, Tony, partly our fault too, by the way. We didn't allow them to dilute.
Oh, I know. That's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
But I mean, the company bled out cash. We stopped them from raising that second round of cash in 2021. Different conversation. If y'all want to talk about it, we can. But as the cash got bled out, and as they were forced to do the APE to prevent Chapter 11, and we started reading and really started paying attention to the financials, at that point, it was very obvious that they were going to need to do a lot more dilution to survive until they got profitable. And then it became, all right, we can't ignore the fundamentals anymore. And I remember various YouTubers, what did they say? Don't listen to Tony Denaro. He's trying to talk fundamentals. That doesn't matter. We're here for a short squeeze. It does actually matter, because
I mean, how
because
long?
the company's not going to let itself go bankrupt. They're going to raise money. And if you're not paying attention to that, you're going to get the dilution rugged out from under you on the price.
Tony, I
You've
got a
got to.
question for those people though, and the question is how long is it going to take for the short squeeze we've been talking about for 3 years? Like, can I get an answer to that?
Their only answer
I'm not trying
mediocre.
to be a
Their
jerk.
only answer is Adam Aaron is diluting to help the shorts, which is ridiculous because you're not looking at the cash flow statement or the balance sheet. Like, the reason they're raising money is painfully obvious, and you don't need to listen to me. You don't need to believe me. Nobody's paying me. Go sit for a 1-hour consult with a CPA and show them the financial statements and ask them, somebody who has nothing to do with this play. You're going to get the same answer. It was a train wreck in progress, and if they didn't raise money, it was going to file Chapter 11.
Yeah.
I don't know why people want to argue that so bad. None of y'all that are arguing that are financial experts. None of you have any financial education. And I'm not saying I'm an expert. Yeah, I have a degree in economics and a minor in finance and banking, but I'm not an industry professional, but I can read a financial statement. It's black and white. What was happening is the cash was getting drawn down, and there was only two outcomes: raise money or Chapter 11. And again, if you don't believe me, go sit with a CPA. I don't want to hear your fucking opinion about Adam Aaron's trying to help the shorts if you can't explain to me how they were going to come out of it without raising money. You want to have that talk? Hit me up. You want to have that talk about how they were going to not go bankrupt? Hit me up. I'll bring you on and you can talk about it.
And as for me, I'm just a business owner. Like, I don't really have an economic background, but I'm always willing to learn, and I don't let people gaslight me. I have common sense, and I look into facts.
Sufyan says, if the box office improves for the rest of this year, could you see 10 or 20 bucks this year? I'll just say this, Sufyan, and you answer the question for me. If Q4, let's just do a wild speculation. If Q4 is $3 billion in box office domestic, and AMC net income operationally is $117 million, what do you think the price would go up? I'm going to caveat that by saying there's going to be an offset from the impairment of long-lived assets of $100 million. It's going to be a wash when we look at the net earnings in Q4. But if you knew that operationally they were booking a net income of over 100 million, would you expect the price to go up? I mean, it seems common sense to expect that the price would go up. AMC Hawkeye says, Reagan, 1992, Blink Twice. Which should I watch tomorrow? I would watch Strange Darling first. Blink Twice second. 1992 third. I can't comment on Reagan yet because we haven't watched it yet, but I will watch it this week. Get In It says, I was up 5x on my money and I kicked myself for the mistake of not selling. I held an average down. I'm luckily at the point where it wouldn't take much of a rise to break even. Well, it sounds like you've done the smart thing, lowering your cost average. And although that's not a strategy that we're recommending on this channel or mediocres, it is one that many people are doing. I say I'm not recommending it because people want to pin me. Tony told me to average down. I'm not telling you to do anything, but if you think that the box office is going to get better and you're not worried about massive dilution, then it seems like if you have a high cost average and you like this company, that buying it at $4 would be a pretty good way to lower your cost basis. Depends on what your cost average is, right? I think we're going much higher than $5 over the next 2 years. But this is not a MOAS forecast channel. I'm only going to tell you guys what I think reasonably could be achieved based on earnings. And if there's a catalyst or something that happens like in May when it ran to $12, I'm going to be selling my $4.20 position. And then I'll wait for it to come back down and I'll buy back in because I like the company. I care about everybody who's stuck in it.
Pull up Get It's next comment. Get in it.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
Doesn't take a rocket scientist to watch the stock and witness the incredible poor timing of the dilution. He's either helping them or needs to be fired. I mean, get in it. What if you could replace him with another CEO or replace Sean Goodman with a different CFO, what would you have them do?
He doesn't know, Tony. You know why he doesn't know? Because he never looked at the fucking balance sheet. Just by that comment, you going to tell me he looked at the balance sheet?
I mean, if he can answer in the next 10 seconds what the working capital situation is, then I'll know he looked at the balance sheet. And while you're at it, give me a definition of working capital.
Like, I'm not trying
Just
to call
a layman's definition. What is working capital? And what's AMC's working capital right now? If you can't answer that, don't be talking about dilution.
Like, I'm really not trying to call anybody out, but
I know you're not. We're trying to teach people what matters. And all of the nonsense from the popcorn project people does not matter because they don't understand anything about financial statements.
His statement says, it says in the statement, it was poor timing, the dilution, right? If he didn't do it at those times, then basically what he's saying, they would have been able to pay off the debt, Tony. But my question is, if they needed the cash, which is why they diluted, how would they have paid off the debt? That's the part that I'm on the fence about, Tony. Tell me. Give me the answer. I'm trying to figure this comment out. I really am.
How were they going to raise cash at $50 when they didn't have any shares, first of all? Mediocre.
How were they going to raise cash when they didn't have any shares?
Yeah.
They weren't.
Exactly. He should have done it at $50. Okay. Where are you going to get the shares from? Were you going to vote for more shares? Get in it? Were you?
No, he wasn't.
No, you weren't.
You know why
you wanted a short squeeze.
Exactly.
You didn't care about the cash. You didn't care about Chapter 11. I'm not defending AMC. I understand what their job is. Their job is not to go bankrupt.
Change the ticker symbol. The ticker symbol doesn't fucking matter, you guys. Put a different name on there. The same thing is going to happen.
Why did Ryan Cohen just raise $3 billion? Did he need the money?
That's a good question, Tony.
The ticker symbol doesn't fucking matter if the company's losing money. GameStop is not operationally profitable.
You know,
Learn to expect it. Watch my video called The CEO Handbook, published 1 year ago. Your eyes will be opened.
I mean, GameStop wasn't even in debt. They had $1 billion in the bank. Why'd they dilute? Tell me. Why did they do it? Was Ryan Cohen helping the shorts? Is that what was going on? Tony, is that what happened? Ryan Cohen was helping the shorts, Tony. Is that why he diluted? To prevent a short squeeze, Tony?
He's got to transform the core business, which is losing money and dropping in revenue massively before it's too late. And shareholders handed him a gift. Wall Street handed him a gift, and he took advantage of it, as he should.
User, I
Get
do
in
too.
it. Get in it. Decided to leave rather than answer the question. No, we appreciate the questions, but I want you to think about the answers.
Of course, he didn't look it. Get in it. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I really ain't. Like, I don't really know you, but again, I don't want to see you lose money. I don't want to see anybody lose money. I'm not a financial guy. I'm just a guy that has common sense and started reading shit. You know, I just happen to be close friends with Tony, which I appreciate, by the way. Right? I'm a what would you say I am? I'm a day trader. You know, I do charts. I do, analysis on charting. That's really what I do. And yeah, I care about fundamentals, but AMC, I didn't care about fundamentals at the time. I do now.
Most of the time,
Matter.
I mean, you're in and out of trades in days or weeks, and fundamentals don't matter because you're just looking at the chart.
Yeah.
But the longer you hold something, the more that understanding the fundamentals and the filings
But Tony,
matters.
well, here's the fact, and you know this to be true, right? Since I started taking fundamentals seriously, right? We talk every day. I won't enter a play unless the fundamentals are okay. Why? Because it protects me and my money. That's it. I don't care. I'm good. Give me the money, baby.
Nate says a lot of people forgot that the CEO's first job is to protect the company. I had a live stream on this, Nate, that made a lot of the Popcorn Project people mad, where I talked about what does fiduciary duty mean. And you're exactly right, Nate. The CEO, the board, the executives have a fiduciary duty to all stakeholders. That includes us as common and the bondholders, to not file Chapter 11, to ensure adequate liquidity is available, and to make sure the company is on a solid footing until it gets profitable. And that is, as you said, protecting the company and protecting all stakeholders.
Well,
If you're invested, if you're speculating in a non-profitable company, who's going to take the brunt of those necessary steps they have to take? It's going to be common every time. Takes the gunshot to the face, because we're the one they're raising money off of. We're the one that they're diluting, and the share price is going to go down.
So, Tony, I got a question for you, because this is a question I ask myself all the time. Like, why do they not want us talking about the financials? Why do they just want people to pump? Because that's what it feels like, right? To me, I don't know that to be true. I'm
Because
not
they don't want to take self-ownership for their own decisions.
Okay, but we are helping just by explaining that
We've already been labeled as the paid shills, mediocre. What we say now is irrelevant, and they're not willing. They're not willing to learn. Some of them proclaim to be, very interested in education, but they won't get educated on how to read a balance sheet. They won't get educated on. I can forecast AMC's cash burn 2 years out.
But Tony, we don't say anything bad about the stock. I don't understand. We don't pump it, but we don't give crazy price targets or say there's a short squeeze coming. We don't say
mediocre.
We
We did the mortal sin of explaining why AMC needed to raise cash. And that was inconvenient to them, because why? The dilution means that the price is probably going to go down, not short squeeze. But if you don't raise cash, everybody gets wiped out. Look at MMAT Q now.
No, I get it. I just, like, why are we enemies? Like, I don't want to be your enemy, people. I'd rather coexist and try to help people. Don't you want people to succeed regardless if a short squeeze happens or not? That's all I'm saying, right?
Almost all of these tickers, mediocre, that we've been watching over the last 3 or 4 years that were short squeeze candidates, they have a moment in time when the momentum is there and retail interest is high, where you can get, and the short interest hopefully is high, where you can get a short squeeze. But then when it tops out, you got to fucking get out.
Exactly.
And I'm tired of calling these plays out. I've called them all out. BBBY, BBIG, MMAT. I called all of them out. And all they did after that was go down, dilute, yada, yada, yada. And none of them had any revenue, or they had declining revenue. The only reason that AMC is interesting to me is it is the one, not even GameStop. AMC is the only one that has increasing revenue. So you can call it trash all you want. I get it. The balance sheet is still a little bit messed up, but it is the only one that is climbing out of the fucking hole.
I mean,
in terms of revenue.
And it's easier to pay attention to box office and do spreadsheets and put math together, right? So to have a picture, what kind of information do you have on GameStop or BBBYQ or any of these other stocks, right? You have
get
to
a surprise when the quarterly announcement comes out.
Exactly.
You wear your helmet and you play music and you dance, and then you find out the CEO got fired.
Right. And
you wear, you drink some drinks and you hang out with your buddies, and then you find the CFO jumped off a building. These people don't know. It's literal gambling.
And I'm not gambling. I'm done with that.
At least we have a clue. I mean, yeah, it's still a messed up balance sheet, but we can see the direction that it's going. We can make some pretty reasonable predictions if you're not totally biased against it. And the people that are totally biased against it are the ones that are, what I mean by that is the people that are saying that the executives are working with the shorts to bankrupt the company. Like, what is the evidence of bankrupting the company? What's your evidence? You have none. Everything they've done is the opposite of bankrupting the company.
Yeah. I don't think that's what they're doing. They've worked, in my opinion, and I'm going to call him out because I'm pretty sure it's him. Shad Goodman has worked diligently to make sure AMC doesn't go bankrupt. That's what I think.
Nate says, the only complaint I have with Adam is he seems to make ill-timed public statements when the stock moves up. Yeah, I don't know that I can argue with that, Nate, and I wouldn't try to. I mean, I see the same things you see. I don't know if that is purposeful. Some people say he's trying to tank the price. Maybe. I also kind of look at it like maybe he's trying to give you a dose of reality before you overpay for something. Is that a fair statement?
It could be. I mean, I don't know. I don't pay any attention to him anymore, really, to be honest with you guys. I used to care what he had to say. I used to think that, he would try to help push the stock price up, but I haven't really seen that. And what he says really hasn't affected the stock price that much, in my opinion.
Oh, I mean, it has mediocre. There's been times when it was moving up where he said, oh, we're really happy about X, Y, and Z. But just a reminder, the balance sheets are still pretty fucked up.
Well, yeah.
I mean, but he's not lying to you. He's trying to give you some useful information that maybe you should pay attention to instead of getting mad at him.
Well, I mean,
or maybe he's trying to stop the price from running up. How would I know that? I don't know. You could be right.
Yeah. Whether he is or he isn't, I mean, I don't pay him any mind anyways. I don't. I care what the numbers are, right? What are the numbers? I mean, if he comes out with a statement that's very bullish, like maybe he'll come out and say, we're expecting great numbers on Beetlejuice, for example. Like, come out and say that, Adam.
He's come out and he's said a lot of bullish things, mediocre, but they don't ever talk about that. You've heard me. I get onto him for saying things that are too bullish. Oh, we had the best Tuesday of food and beverage sales ever. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Adam. It's almost misleading. I don't care about a Tuesday. Yeah, I want to know what's your forecast for the next 12 months. That's all I care about.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like the numbers. What's the box office doing? How are the movies doing in the theaters? Right. Are people showing up, butts in the seats? Like that's what I give a shit about, especially now. Before, I didn't really care. It was short squeeze, whatever. I was just like you guys. I was there. Believe me. I just, my opinion. I'm just gonna say it. I seen the light, and I'm sorry. I'm not gonna change.
Matt says at least Adam talks about the company while Ryan just posts memes, and then he follows up by saying, I hope we at least get an earnings call that lasts longer than 10 minutes, or one where we don't find out someone else got fired. Right, Matt? GameStop earnings is what, the 12th, is it? 10th? I think it's the 10th. It's coming up right around the corner. And I was going to do a GameStop video today, and then I remembered tomorrow's a holiday. So I'll do a GameStop video tomorrow. The social media pumping on GameStop is getting out of control right now. And I agree with some of it. The options chain is getting pumped. So there could be another share price pump. But when I just do strict financial analysis, anybody telling you that GameStop is a good buy right now, unless they're telling you I'm only basing my comment on hope, they are lying to you. Because what? They've got $4 billion in cash, making 5% generously. If they made 5% on $4 billion, and that's going to go down when the Fed cuts rates, and they're not investing all $4 billion, I'll tell you that. But let's just say that they are. That's $200 million a year. I heard a GameStop YouTuber lie to his audience, telling them that GameStop's going to make $500 million a year. Do you guys think that that's cool for people just to that they trash every other play, call themselves the GameStop experts, and then blatantly bald-faced lie to people that the company is going to make $500 million this year on interest? It's impossible. 5% interest on a money market or T-bills on $4 billion, if it was fully invested, is $200 million a year. It's going to be less than that. And so let's just say the company breaks even on operations. That's going to be 47 cents. Let's say they break even for the year. It'll be 47 cents annual earnings per share for GameStop. Multiply that times any other competitor in the industry. 25 PE ratio. What's your price target? $12. All right, let's be more generous. Give them a PE ratio of 40. What's your price target? $18. What's GameStop trading at?
It's over 20, Tony. 23?
It's trading at 23. So how are you going to tell people that it's going to leg up to 40 and stay there because of the interest? There's no reasonable way to explain that other than say, I just hope this happens. And if you say that, I'm cool with you. I hope this happens.
But Tony,
I
the short
believe this will happen. You're probably going to be wrong. Wall Street will short it down because there's no fundamental, it's overvalued and there's no one to protect it from getting pushed down. I was going to talk about this with AMC earlier. When someone's shorting something, you need big money to come in and support it. And they're only going to do that when it's at fair value.
I agree with you, but I'm going to be a smartass and say, Tony, but they won't close their short positions.
It's 10% short. I mean, they've been closing them hand over fist for the last 3 months. GameStop is 10% short. But Tony, you're not counting the derivatives and the synthetics and the offshore accounts and the crypto. Okay. Go somewhere else for that. And we're not going to talk about things that we can't prove here. You want to go sue someone who's talking about things they can't prove. We're talking about real financial analysis here.
Why, thank you, Anya. I
Anyways,
appreciate that.
yeah, mediocres. Anya says you're looking very dapper tonight. I'm not saying my price target for GameStop is $12 or $18. I'm just saying that's going to be the Wall Street analyst price target. And the shorts will try and push it there. And who's going to stop them? It's just us. Do we have more money than institutions or anybody who's willing to short? Probably not.
I wanted to talk about that, Tony. That's what I think the community as a whole doesn't understand. When the stock price gets pushed over its fundamental value, right? It's the people who want to short this are going to be like, oh my god, it's a great play for them. They know they're going to win. It's an easy short, so they pile in, and guess what? We hold and get destroyed, and that's ultimately what happens. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to get caught holding the bag. It's just how it goes. And so, I don't know. Look at what happened in 2021. That's exactly what happened, right?
Yep. And I do think GME's a dumb short below $20 because if you were short and Ryan Cohen does come out with some bullish announcement, you could get wrecked in a heartbeat. You could get wrecked in 5 minutes. So I think it's pretty safe. If you get an entry in GameStop under $20, I mean, I'd like to buy it there. It's relatively safe and more upside potential than downside potential, but Wall Street will try and push it lower. It's going to be up to Ryan, as who was it? Matt said, Ryan's got to come up with some news. And you could see this thing run. Even on 10% short interest, people will pile in on good news. And a loaded option.
Why doesn't he say anything, Tony?
Huh?
Why doesn't he say anything?
I don't know, because he doesn't have a plan yet, mediocre. They're going to say he doesn't want to give away the plan, maybe.
He's got a secret plan, Tony.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe they're working on something. That's cool.
Actually, to be honest, since we're talking about that, I mean, he did just close his credit facility, right?
He discontinued the credit facility, which, by the way, mediocre, AMC did 3 months ago. I didn't hear anybody talking about that except us.
Yeah,
Didn't hear any of the GameStop people talking about that. AMC discontinued their credit facility.
Yes, I did know that.
Did they become their own bank?
No, they did not.
Why are people going nuts over this with GameStop? Because they have nothing else to talk about.
The reason why I brought it up, though, is, if he was going to do an acquisition, is it true that he would have to get rid of that credit facility?
I don't know that to be a fact. I've heard people say that.
I've heard that too. I don't know if it's true, but that's something that I might look into myself and get the actual fact.
I've heard people say that, mediocre. I haven't seen a single one of them provide any actual evidence to back up what they're saying. Yes, all of the assets of GameStop were essentially on lien as collateral for that credit facility, which is kind of dumb. When you got $4 billion in cash, you don't need all your assets as collateral. Because if you wanted to do anything, sell off some assets, for example, you can't do it with that credit facility restrictions being in there. So I think it's good that they got rid of it. It gives them more. It makes them more nimble.
Yeah.
But was it because Ryan didn't want to tip off JP Morgan about what he's doing next? Because he would have had to disclose to them that he was going to do an acquisition. I'm pretty sure that's bullshit, but it makes for a good story to get people to come save your bags.
No, my thought was, though, is if that is actually a rule, which I'm not certain it is, right? Like I said, I'll have to do some research. But if that is a rule, right, that could potentially allow them to do some sort of acquisition. If
they were going to do an acquisition, whether or not that credit facility was in there or not, mediocre. It's the only way they survive. They've got to invest that money or acquire somebody that has actual earnings.
Yeah. But they don't need the credit facility anyways. They got $4 billion.
Yeah, it was great for them to get rid of it. It's just a anchor weighing them down. I'm not. They did a good thing. So did AMC. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Less covenants to worry about. It's just funny to me that people are talking up to GameStop getting rid of their credit facility, but none of those same people talked about AMC getting rid of theirs. Wonder why.
It's funny. I mean, I don't know. I think we're on the cusp of something here. I know you do too.
Yeah, let's finish off the GameStop conversation before we kind of close up for the night. I'm going to do a video tomorrow. There's been a lot of speculation over the weekend. Most of it I just cast aside as Reddit nonsense. But the most interesting thing to me is the activity in the options chain and the volatility increasing on the underlying. So that is something that I think we should pay attention to going into next week. I don't know if it's going to drop back down when we open up next week or run back up. But if it's running, I'd be interested in playing it. You guys know I'm just swing trading GameStop. I'll take a run from 23 to 40 if that materializes. And the other thing that I'm going to say in my video tomorrow was, let me put up this GameStop chart. Hang on one second. I have the you can see all my buys and sells here. Purple is buys, reds is sells. I've been trading this thing profitably for a long time. Let me change my candles to, let's do daily. It was, I bought here at 1934, sold the next day at 21.35. I did not get the top. People always say, Tony says he bought at the bottom and sells at the top. I did not get the bottom. I missed it by 50 cents, and I missed the top by $2. Doesn't matter. We got a profitable trade. But I knew with reasonable expectation that there was a supply zone sitting up here and that it'd get pushed back down. I was kind of watching it to see, this was a market-driven, the Japan yen thing. Right. So this was a fake out. I kind of wanted to see how far down would we get pushed into this demand zone before we rocketed back up. And I do like that we rocketed back up, mediocre. This is what you want to see out of a demand zone, a rocket. So now I did not buy here. If it fell much lower, I would have certainly bought, but I'm not in GameStop right now. But now we have a really good data point. If it does come back down, where the real support is. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
So I might not be so persnickety next time and want to wait for $19 or $18. Maybe I'm willing to come in at $19.93 next time. I got a lot of time. I got a lot of patience.
Look, same thing happens with AMC, and it happens several times, Tony. And I missed it twice. I said, I ain't missing it this goddamn time.
Yeah, the same type thing right here, right? Boom, boom, boom. Three touches in the demand zone. And I'll buy it again if it drops back down here, unless we're in the middle of a market crash. But getting back to GameStop, I like that I have a good data point here. I think that there's some upside potential depending on the options chain and what people do next week. I don't know that it's a certainty that it's going to $40 like people said, but if it is running, then I'll probably play it. I don't care what price I buy GameStop at because I'm only going to be in it for a few hours or a few days. But if I'm going to be holding it for a few weeks, I want it down deep in this demand zone.
I don't know, Tony. Still waiting to see if Kitty's going to come back.
Well, they're saying maybe he's the one driving the options chain right now, mediocre. Or maybe he is. That'd be great.
Options are up.
And someone said on Twitter, "Hey, Tony, why are you talking about GameStop? You weren't the one that supplied all the money when they diluted here and here. You're right. I wasn't, because I sold at $60 and $43.29. I did not supply that money. All you guys who bought down here supplied them the money. We're on the way down. I'm talking about GameStop because I've been trading it for a long time.
Will you do it again, Tony?
Trade it?
Yeah, sell it.
Shit.
Sell it when it peaks out again.
Yes.
Oh, you shill.
What I was going to say is there's a lot of other channels you can tune into to learn how to buy and hold something forever. But all of them are in the red, and they won't sell into the next run up either, and they'll go right back down into the red. So if that's what you're interested in, stay watching those channels. If you're looking for some insight in how to make some profits, buy low, sell into run-ups, then maybe think about subscribing to the channel. It's not what's the word, mediocre? Popular.
No.
It's not popular. Not. I get it. Oh, you're not an ape. I never said I was.
I am not an ape. You are correct. I may have been an ape, but I ain't an ape.
I was someone who held AMC hoping that there would be another short squeeze, but I said many times I'm not holding it to fucking zero. I'm not holding anything to zero.
I think they think I get upset when they say I'm not an ape, Tony.
You are the monkey tamer. You're not an ape.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't.
User one says, do you think the yen crash in early August was similar to the COVID crash in 2020 because the VIX spiked to 65? I think it was just related to I don't know if I can comment on what you're asking, but the government made a decision that affected everybody worldwide that was invested in Japan or had trades against the yen, and that's what happened, and then they sorted it out. So that's about my limited understanding of that. Sufyan says, mediocre, are you saying that KC Shaw will not sell his shares in the next run-up? I don't know what mediocre was saying. I was talking about the GameStop people, Sufyan.
I never said anything about KC Shaw.
We don't watch KC Shaw, and we don't really comment on him much, Sufyan.
They can do
whatever they want over there. Hopefully, if their strategy is working and you like that, then keep watching that channel.
Just don't expect me to do it.
Yeah, I have no problem with anyone's trading strategy in AMC, GameStop, or any play, but don't get mad at me, bro, if I have a different
bottom line.
strategy.
This is the part I think they don't really understand, Tony. Ultimately, what you do with your money is your fucking business, not mine. It's not Tony's business. It's not Casey's business. That's why when they come after us, it's like, why are you coming at me, bro? What I choose to do with my money is my business. If I want to sell, I'm going to sell.
Mediocre, drink the fucking Kool-Aid.
Ain't never going to happen. It ain't going to happen. No, I drink my own Kool-Aid that I make.
AMC Hawkeye says, Casey's community is pretty chill. I mean, I have been sent screenshots of them not being very, very chill towards my way of trading, Hawkeye. So I'm going to respectfully disagree. And I think you know who I'm talking about. And I think you know all the comments I'm talking about. I mean, there's been a lot of shit flung over on this channel from that channel because why? Why would they be mad at us, mediocre? Is it maybe because we told them exactly how wrecked AMC was going to get after the AMC ape conversion and they were in denial?
Yep. And I'll say this, that community, you could say they're pretty chill, but I've been in Discord conversations that were absolutely not very chill.
So we're going to respectfully disagree because we have plenty of evidence to the contrary.
Yeah.
They're nice people. I love all of them, except a couple of the mods and the host of the show who trash talks people who have decided to go a different way. Still support the company. I spend an obscene amount of money probably 100x what Casey Shaw does going to movies.
What are you talking about, phony baloney?
I mean, I've only seen him at 2 movies in the last 2 years, mediocre. And one of them, he avoided me.
I know.
Anywho,
when you label a live stream phony baloney, I mean,
it's not very chill.
yeah, exactly. What do you want me to say? But you know what? I don't wish any ill will on them people,
Yeah,
and I hope they make their
we
money
would
back.
love and hope to help all of them, but a lot of them are beyond the point of help.
Even if you trash me, I don't want to see you get destroyed. I really don't.
I don't either.
So
mediocre. I just want to say, and what is his name? I had a gentleman send me an apology. Maybe he's watching tonight. I think maybe the second apology I've received in 4 years. George, thank you. It was George. He says, Tony, I would like to apologize to you. This was Thursday. I was wrong. My emotions took over when I lost most of my investment in AMC. I was new to the world of financial markets, basically gambling with my money. George got very mad at me, mediocre, us, for the way that we pivoted our coverage of the stock towards talking about the financials, more like common sense analysis. And George, I just want to say that is a big step in your investing future, to not apologize to me, but to admit that you were basically gambling with money. And congratulations, and also thank you for the apology. I just told him, I mean, I don't cast anybody aside. Unless you're lying about me, doxing, or making death threats, nobody's beyond coming back in and being part of this conversation.
I'll say this because I know Tony and I feel the same way. So, George, you're always welcome back in this community. You don't know, we're willing to talk to you about anything. It's all good. I'm sure Tony feels the same way.
Absolutely.
So, I'm glad you you realized some things. I had to realize some things. I'll admit it. I don't care. I'm a normal person, a normal guy, right? You think that I didn't want the short squeeze to happen? I mean, come on, people. I wanted that to happen too. But
you think we've been talking about this stock for 3 years because we don't want people to succeed?
Exactly. But I'm not willing to give them all my money. I wasn't willing to do that. That's the thing, right? But there's a difference. And I know. I say my little joke about my 5 wives or my wife and my 4 children, right? Like, you've all heard me say that, okay? And that's why I did what I did. I got 5 wives, right? I guess you could say maybe that was a dig at KC and his 5 wives, whatever. I'm not really digging at him. I'm just telling you, like, some people's 5 wives are different than other people's 5 wives. You follow what I'm saying? Mine are obviously family orientated, and I'm not willing to give up my money. That's just the bottom line.
That reminds me of the GameStop guy that tried to trash talk me on Twitter today. He's like, why do you care about GameStop? And I'm like, I care about people knowing how to value a stock, how to do a valuation. And I provided a very logical explanation, but you don't want to address that. You just want to come at me with some ape argument. Why do you care, bro? That's just dumb, guys. Tear apart my evaluation, tear apart my analysis, tear apart my valuation math. Tell me where I'm wrong, but you can't, because I'm not wrong. And I care about teaching people. And if all you want is someone to talk to you about buying and holding, there's other places to go. Just block me. Don't come here if you don't want to learn. I don't care.
And that's the thing, is the other thing they don't realize, Tony, that we don't give a shit what the ticker symbol is, right? If we can make money, we're going to do it. I don't care what the ticker symbol is at the top of the goddamn trading platform. I could care less.
Mediocre is AMC the only stock you invest in?
No,
I hear that a lot.
No.
It's like about 2% of my portfolio right now, mediocre.
I mean, a lot of people in the Discord, I'll just say it, have left AMC to move to another play that's paying more at the moment, right? I'm not going to say what that is because it's not my business to talk about other people's positions, right? I haven't done that because I just moved from one play that I was making more money in back to AMC for different reasons, right? We all play different things. We communicate amongst each other. Now, I don't hate the play that they're in. They're making money. They're doing well with it, right? But it's just not something that I'm really interested in. So I'm going to look more into it, but I'm not a follower. I like to look at my stuff and understand.
Anya thought you said your 5 wives mediocre.
Yeah, my 5 wives. My wife will love that one.
WHY, Anya.
I'm a Mormon.
All right, mediocre. I think we should probably wrap it up. I haven't even eaten dinner. Eaten? Is that a word? I haven't eaten dinner. I haven't ate dinner. I was not a English major, as you guys can tell. Anyways, I need some food.
I'm just mediocre at everything.
Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Thanks for the great questions. User and who was that other guy that left? Get on it. I mean, y'all had some good questions. Hopefully we answered them. I always am happy to answer questions to the best of my ability. We're not hiding anything here. We're very blunt, even if it's not popular. And hopefully y'all learned something.
Yeah.
And go AMC and GameStop.
And I'll just say this. Don't anybody take offense to anything that we said. There's nothing to take offense to. Just fact check us. We don't give a shit. And have a good night.
All right. With that being said, let's play the 1-minute outro. Mediocre, thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. GameStop video tomorrow and Intel to come next week.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never